There's a lot of men in America that say they want a traditional woman, but I have been one of the men that have said that it's certain requirements to have a traditional woman. Yes, we do talk about the modern woman and what she do and the things that we don't approve of, but also we do have modern men as well. And these modern men don't stand on their own 2 feet. And some women do call that out, but let's review it.
I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but correct me if I'm wrong. Dinner being ready when you get off of work, clothes being washed, folded, ironed, house being clean, only works for men who pay all the bills, right? Because there is no way that you working and I'm working and you still expect for me to have dinner made, clothes washed and folded up, ironed, house cleaned up. There's no way that you're expecting all this of me and we splitting bills.
Now, I've talked about that in the past myself many times. If you say that you want a traditional woman, then you must be a traditional man. Let's go back to our grandfathers, great-grandfathers in our communities. Grandpa, great-grandpa worked a job. Grandma got to stay home and take care of the children. This is why when my grandfather came home, and I got to see this with my own 2 eyes, when my grandfather came home from work, my grandmother did have the house clean. My grandmother did have dinner ready when he came through the door. She made sure you better not be sitting in his recliner, get up off the TV, because he coming in here, he want to watch TV. She would make sure that every day that my grandfather would come in the house from work. I do remember that. My grandmother did not have to work. Now, later down the line, as you know, because she just wanted to do more things during the day, she took a part-time job, not because he said, oh, you need to go to work, but because she just wanted to do something. And it was part-time. I think she was doing like home health with people. And she never came home late. I think she went like in the morning and came back early, like I think 1, 2 o'clock. It was like a few hours a day. And she still made sure everything was done. And anytime that something broke in the house, in my grandfather's house, I never forget that. It don't matter what it is. If a car broke down, if you had an electrical problem, whatever it could be. My grandfather had a cabinet and he had a lock on it at the top. And he'd go up there, he'd get his money and pay for it like that. It was never not once he didn't have no money. Now, my grandfather would always be po-mouthing and all that. He ain't got no money, but he always kept money. He always. And he said, look, you always need you some money. And he said, he was talking about basically that pistol. He's saying, you need you one of these too. Always keep that in a house. He said, so you can protect your family and you can provide for your family. He said, a man always supposed to have some money. He said, you don't depend on no woman to do nothing for you. See, a lot of some of y'all say, why is he talk the way he talk? And some of you, just get angry with me. But you have to understand, I was raised with a lot of old school upbringing, okay? I live in modern times. I understand modern times. And I understand you got to adapt with the times. I know that. But we have seen, if you just go completely with the modern times, it is completely, the family's in shambles. It's no morality. It's straight degeneracy in modern times. I at least got to see a time where we actually still had some family reunions, families getting together every week. You know what I'm saying? Like, prime example, you remember if you watch the movie Soul Food, go watch that movie. I got to actually experience, of course, families have drama too, and that's true. But what they made sure, you better go to grandma's house and you better go eat, or big mama house and go eat. It don't matter what's going on, unless you in the hospital or something like that, your behind better be at big mama house or grandmama house and to be eating. Because they didn't want to hear no talk about no restaurant. Listen, if I was tell my grandma, well, grandma, let's go to the restaurant. She's like, what? She'll go off on you. You don't want no other people cooking no food for you. And listen, we have gotten away from cooking at home for our families, letting these people in the restaurants feed us, and look at all the health problems we got today. We got more health problems today than what we had when we were cooking actually in our homes, and we were saving more money that way. Because I don't care what it is. You will save more money cooking at home than you will going to the restaurant, especially if you got a big family. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the old school work. I get it. Now, what this woman is saying, you can't expect your woman to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning. Let's say she got to be to work for 8 o'clock or even 9. Work all day. And you wouldn't work all day too. Get home after working all day, fighting traffic or whatever, and her be like my grandmother. Well, my grandmother had the opportunity to stay home and make sure all those things would happen because my grandfather was paying all the bills. Understand? When you pay all the bills, you get to talk like that. You get to say, hey, I would like to have this done, X, Y, Z, right? Now, you talk about even passport bros. If you go outside of America, women outside of America expect that out of you way more than even American women. Actually, American women gonna give you a pass, so they actually help you pay bills. Women outside the country, don't matter if you go to the African continent, if you go to Latin America, the Caribbean, y'all like going to Southeast Asia, these women are expecting you to be a man and pay some doggone bills and take care of the household. They're expecting that. Now, a lot of you don't mind doing it over there because of the exchange rate. But if you actually can, I always tell men this, if you can make it in America, if you get a bag in America, then you can really make it anywhere. You understand? So if you want that here in America, fellas, you're going to have your woman in a position where she don't have to go to work. Now, if you say, nah, Phil, because I've seen some of y'all tell me that. Nah, Phil, shoot, they got to pay some bills too. Okay, that's no problem. Let them pay bills. Just don't open your mouth about no cooking and cleaning and doing all this stuff that you want her to do. It's just that simple. You put her in the position of a man because it's a man's job to take care of the bills. At least, and I'm giving you an out, at least 80% of the bills. At least 80%. It's your job to take care of at least 80%. I say 100, but I'm giving you 80. If you're not taking care of at least 80% of the bills, then how can you tell her anything? She doing your job. She doing your job, so she can't really do her job. Now, of course, I know you're going to say some of the feminists. Women's job, yes, because I believe in gender roles. I do. Men be men and take care of what men need to take care of, protect, provide. Do those sort of things that men are supposed to do, to help with the children. Men's supposed to help too. And women have what they have. A man buys a house, a woman make it a home. They didn't say a men make it a home, they say women make it a home. And there's a reason for that. But some of y'all have created some of the modern woman too now. Because a lot of y'all, because trust me, I've seen women and will say, hey, I'm only here because I choose to be. Because trust me, women love to say they at work because they choose to be, not because they have to be. When a woman that has to work, for the household or the lights go get cut off or y'all can get thrown out, you putting extra pressure on her. Versus if she ain't had that pressure on her, then shoot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's just a reality. Sometimes y'all get mad about that, but I have to agree with the women on that. If you're not doing what men's supposed to do, how can you expect any of that? But let me know what y'all think. I know a lot of y'all are modern men. I know a lot of you are, and you would disagree because I know a lot of y'all fiercely disagree with me with that. But you can't have your cake and eat it too, bro.